your 2021 Jefferson High School Jaguar Marching Band. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to honor our country, please stand and remove your hats as our flag is presented on the field. We believe in the United States of America, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, a democracy in the republic, a sovereign nation of many sovereign states, a union, one and inseparable, established upon the principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity. Therefore, we believe it is our duty to our country to love it, to support its Constitution, to obey its laws, and to respect its flag. To these principles, we rededicate ourselves today as we join together in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Jefferson High School staff, administration, and student body wish to extend a warm welcome to our visitors, the Hawks from Chaska High School. Welcome to Bloomington Stadium and this evening's game. The Jaguar Fight Song. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is your 2021 Jefferson High School Jaguar Marching Band. Thank you, marching band, thank you, flags, and thank you, twirlers. Good evening once again, everybody. Welcome to Bloomington Stadium and the start of a new football season. Tonight's game features the visiting Chaska Hawks and our Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars. We appreciate your attendance here tonight and hope you enjoy the game. At this time, we'd like to introduce our starting lineups for the teams. We'll begin with the defensive unit for the Chaska Hawks. At defensive back, number 1, senior Nolan Kemp. Also at defensive back, number 4, senior Carver Miller. At linebacker, number 5, senior Christian Rolfe. Also at linebacker, number 6, senior Brendan Sewer. At defensive back, number 7, senior Trevor Otter. At linebacker, number 9, senior Benjamin Bowe. Also at linebacker, number 13, senior Max Hatfield. At defensive back, number 25, junior Miles Myler. On the defensive line, number 73, junior Caleb Rector. Also on the line, number 74, junior Leo Smalley. And rounding out the defensive line for the Hawks, number 75, junior Preston Lorenz. The head coach for the Hawks is Brian Dahl. And now on to our Jefferson Jaguars. As is our tradition, in the first game of the home season every year, we introduce the winners from our Ironman competition that occurred over the summer. Our freshman winners, in ascending order, coming in at number 3, Milton Spears. Coming in number 2, Connor Marshall. And the winner for the freshman was Evan Feller. On to our sophomores, coming in at number 3, Malaki Sorensen. Winning the number 2 slot was Danny King, and the sophomore winner was Daniel Freitag. For our juniors, coming in number 3, Robbie Traylor. Taking the second slot was Maximo San Roman. And the winner for the junior class, number 1, was Nate Habermas. And for our senior winners, coming in at number 3, Brock Edwards. Number 2 was Daniel Weber. And the senior winner and overall winner was Austin Krupp. The head coach for the Jaguars is Tim Carlson. Our officials for tonight's game are the back judge, Dylan Bethune. Head linesman is Daniel Greider. Our line judge is Peter Ide. Our umpire is Raymond Welsh, and our referee is Gary Sonnenberg. Just a few reminders before we begin. This game is being played according to the...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bloomington Stadium for the season opener as the Jefferson Jaguars host the visiting Hawks of Chaska as they start a brand new 2021 high school football season right here on BEC TV. Glad you could all join us this evening on this very rainy night for football. I'm Alex Redding alongside of our broadcast crew, and yes, the fans bringing out the umbrellas, the rain jackets, the blankets, anything to stay out of this wetness. And it is Tackle Cancer Night, as you just saw. The student section is in pink, and there are the Jefferson Jaguars, and they're getting warmed up for the hottest ticket in 5A. As you remember, if you follow the Minnesota State High School League, there was no state tournament last year, so technically the Chaska Hawks are the defending Class 5A state champion. And talk about a test to start the season for Jefferson too. And last season for Jefferson, it was a big learning curve. A lot of seniors had their reps, and this year it's a whole new fun bunch of Jefferson Jaguars and even Chaska Hawks as we are almost about ready to get this one kicked off. Let's take a look at the standings real quick from where the 2020 season left off. Chanhassen 4-0, undefeated in the Suburban White District. Chaska 2-1, along with Waconia. Jefferson and St. Louis Park 0-3 from last year. St. Louis Park is no longer in the Suburban White. They moved back to the Suburban Red, as you can see the district standings there on your screen. St. Louis Park was an opponent that Jefferson matched up against very nicely, but boy, is the table slanted for tonight, and Jefferson looking to rewrite that script as the Chaska Hawks are in the building, and they will kick this one off. Short kickoff, and Jefferson will have it at the 35-yard line. Well, it's been quite the offseason for Jefferson, getting a little bit stronger at defense this year. I talked to Tim Carlson just before the game via email, and I asked him what exactly are you confident about this season with your team? And he said he's excited about the defense and really just getting to start a lot of these new guys. And for Chaska, quite a bit of turnover, too, on their side of the football, losing quite a few seniors, including one of their star wideouts in Bachman. But the good news is if you're Chaska, you do get Jack Boyle in the backfield for another season, one of their veteran running backs. Out of the gun, Jefferson will start on offense. Quick throw and dangerous. As the ball deflected, the intended target was number 5, Maxwell Clark. Incomplete pass, second down and 10. So let's take another look here on the rollout throw. Just a little bit too much on that football. As Robert Traylor, number 11, in the backfield for Jefferson now. Quick throw out to the far side, and it's complete. Gain of about 6 or 7 yards. It'll be third and manageable coming up now for the Jefferson offense as we get another look here. There's a nice quick throw on the money by Traylor to number 34, the Jefferson Jaguars, Blake Mamalakis. Tim Carlson also talked to me and said a lot of good things about him. And again, this wide receiving core for Jefferson really wants to attack you with that speed that they do so well at. Nice throw into the flat, and that pass is complete. And number 5, Maxwell Clark on the receiving end of that Jefferson pass. But he will be a yard short. It'll be 4th down and 1. And so the Jaguars staying aggressive on offense. They're going to go for it. Whoa, that's going to draw a flag. And this crowd is loving that because that might be a Chaska offside. And we'll await the call here from our officials as they're going to get together to talk about it. Very good use of the hard count by Jefferson. You can already tell Chaska really, really antsy to get this thing going. And here's the call. And it will be offside on Chaska. So what was going to be a 4th down and 1 for Jefferson now is a 1st and 10, thanks to the Chaska offside penalty. Let's get another look at this. Looks like number 58, Ryan Mercer, had ants in his pants. Just a little too eager. And a handoff right up the A-gap. Through the middle, got a couple of yards. Did the Jefferson running back, number 24. And that's Aiden Bertrand, number 24. We had him on Inside Jefferson Football last Tuesday night. And Aiden Bertrand, by the way, let me tell you, he can bring some quickness to that Jefferson running game. He's not afraid to lower the shoulder, but he really has a great cutting ability and can really use his speed to outwork the opponent. Traylor steps up and is swallowed whole. The defense is there, and Chaska makes a great play for the sack. 3rd down coming up for the Jefferson offense. We'll get another look here. Also good coverage down the field by Chaska, and good job by the big boys up front for the Hawks to finish that play off. 3rd down and 11 now for Jefferson. At the 48-yard line, Traylor. He's going to roll out, he's going to throw near side, and the pass is picked off. Benjamin Bow with the interception, and Chaska with the first turnover of the game, and their offense now set up to do some damage. And we'll get another look at this. Kind of an awkward throw from Traylor. But Bow is able to come down with the interception. Good job of reading the quarterback, too, and following his eyes to make the play for the Hawks defense. And so here comes the Chaska Hawk offense. Now remember, because there was no state tournament games played last year due to the coronavirus pandemic, they're still technically the defending 5A state champion. And starting in the backfield tonight is number 2, Braden Sanders at quarterback. Sanders, a quick draw up the middle. And Boyle plows ahead to the 45-yard line. He got about 3 yards. 2nd down and 7 coming up for the Chaska offense. Braden Sanders for the Chaska Hawks last season, 17 of 36 passing, 231 yards. Completion percentage numbers at 47.2%, 4 touchdowns with 4 interceptions. averaging 6.4 yards per attempt as Chaska works out of the gun here on 2nd down and 8. They're going to load up for the deep bomb. Got his man down to the 10-yard line. Carver Miller carving up the secondary with a great grab, setting up a 1st and goal for the Chaska Hawks, but we're going to get a flag at the end of this, and the play is coming back. An offensive penalty is going to negate all of that. So how about that? Braden Sanders hooking up with Carver Miller deep down the field, only to have that play get completely erased by an offensive penalty that will move the ball back to the 39-yard line as Chaska works on this possession here. 2nd down and 18. We're going to get a quick timeout. Not sure exactly what the discussion is over there. Maybe Chaska's trying to make sure they have the right personnel out there, but I think it may have been one of the Chaska coaching staff, probably Coach Dahl, wanting an explanation as to that penalty. Jefferson's loading the box on defense, and they're going to go with a misdirection. And look at this nice run out past midfield. He's still going down to the 45 of Jefferson. Braden Sanders turning it on into the 2nd level. So what was a 2nd down and very long is now going to be a 3rd down and about 7 yards to move the chains. We'll get another look here on the misdirection play. A nice run by Braden Sanders. Good blocking upfield, too, by the Chaska Hawks, and it's pretty easy to do that when you have bodies of very big stature. That's another mismatch that Chaska likes to bring to the table against teams, that size advantage. Throw is complete, and it's on the money in a tight window, but it'll be short of the 1st down. A good pass by Braden Sanders to Carver Miller. But he will be short of the 1st down as we take another replay look here. And good adjustment by the receiver. The ball looked to be a tad bit behind, but still a well-thrown ball. So Chaska now faced with a 4th down and 1. And we will see exactly what head coach Brian Dahl will dial up here for the Chaska Hawks. 4th and 1. Draw play up the middle. He's got a 1st down and much more to the zone. Touchdown, Chaska Hawks. Jack Boyle unloading a bomb on a big run to the end zone. And Chaska will find the 1st score of the game. And there's the senior, Jack Boyle, showing you exactly how it's done. When he gets into the open field, he is a turbo vet. Nice block in the hole, by the way, by number 26, Xavier Harleveau. And, well, when that man right there, number 11, Jack Boyle, gets a block, he's up the field, and you can pretty much wave him goodbye. Chaska looking to put the cherry on top with the point after. So on that last drive, Chaska shows you just exactly why they are the defending state champion. But Jefferson's going to show Chaska just how improved their defense is going to be this year with an amazing block on the extra point. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you wanted an entertaining start to the 2021 football season here in the state of Minnesota, I don't think you're going to be very disappointed with the start that we've had tonight. And we'll take another look at that run by Jack Boyle, just right up the wazoo, all the way into daylight. Wow. And on that last play, we have an injured Jaguar, and it's number 19 for Jefferson, and that happens to be Daniel Freitag. Daniel, the younger brother of former Jefferson wide receiver Isaac Freitag. Boy, and that would be huge if Freitag is not able to return to the game for Jefferson, because that's going to take away another key weapon for Traylor in the backfield, the Jefferson quarterback. Chaska looking to get the ball set here as we are going to take another look at that block by the Jefferson special teams defense. We had 3 Jaguars in on that. And an uncharacteristic collapse of the blockers up front for the Chaska Hawks. You don't see that too often. And that's a sign you definitely want to and need to see, especially if you're head coach Tim Carlson. And this is returned just past the 20-yard line. Got to the 23 where the Jefferson offense will take over.
The ball is spotted at the Jaguar 23-yard line.
From the 23, Jefferson will work. And they're going to hand it off up the middle, and Chaska's defense says, I'll show you no comprendo. Good stop, and it'll force Jefferson and its offense to have to face a 2nd and long. It's going to be interesting on this drive to see how aggressive the Jaguars are going to be in the passing game, knowing Traylor threw an interception. On his last possession, Traylor's going to take it around the edge, gets knocked out of bounds hard. Number 9, Benjamin Bowe with a tackle. And it will be 3rd down and long for Jefferson as we get another look here on the replay. Well, sometimes if you're the quarterback, you have to call your own number, especially if nothing's open down the field. And that's exactly what Robert Traylor did for Jefferson. 3rd down and 5. It's not the worst 3rd down in the world, definitely manageable, but this Chaska Hawk defense is going to have something else to say about it. Traylor trying to navigate upfield, and he is pile drive by Benjamin Bowe, saying hello once again on another tackle. And Jefferson looking to go 3 and out as we have a look here on the replay. Good scramble, but an even better tackle there as Bowe finishes the job. And Jefferson will send out the punt unit here on 4th and 4. Jefferson, a much better result on this offensive drive, even though that they went 3 and out. They didn't give the ball up, and that's the important thing. And you know, it's going to take a little bit for these Jefferson Jaguars to settle in as the season gets along. Woo, that was almost close to a block. Number 6 for Chaska on that last punt. Brendan Surr surging into the backfield, almost got the ball. Tyson Schultz just able to get the ball away. Relatively short field for Chaska's offense to work with here on 1st down, set up at their own 49-yard line. Just under 6 minutes to go here in the opening quarter of the 2021 Minnesota State High School League season for both of these two teams, Jefferson and Chaska, playing in a very, very wet atmosphere right now as the rains are just starting to come in and have. They're going to look to go deep. And Braden Sanders finding his receiver right up that seam route. It's Carver Miller hooking up for a 1st down. Good tackle, though, by The Jefferson defense there on the replay, as you just saw. Nice physicality. That's how you want to bring these Chaska players down to the turf. You want to let them know that this is your house and we've come to play with authority. Sanders on first down. Quick misdirection play. Sanders will keep it himself. Trying to turn the corner. He does. Into the second level. Dancing around. And is brought down inside the 15-yard line. A big pickup on the ground for Braden Sanders, the senior quarterback. And that misdirection play worked again beautifully that time. Braden Sanders didn't throw for a lot last year, but with those kind of legs, you don't really need to. You can make all kinds of crafty plays with your feet. And as he has shown us so far here in this game currently. Chaska's banging on the door right now from the gun. In the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 14. Sanders. This time it's a draw play. He'll give it to his man. Boyle to the goal line, and he is stopped short at the 1. Chaska doing a really nice job. Old school attacking that A gap right up the middle. We'll get another look here on the replay. And Boyle lowering the shoulder. And I believe that we have a timeout called onto the field. And that is correct. Tim Carlson will call the first Jefferson timeout of the first half. And boy, that could not come at a better time for the Jaguars, especially on defense. Now, I kind of mentioned it at the start of this game tonight, folks. We looked at the Suburban White District standings from last year. Now, let's take a look at some of the games tonight. We only have a couple going on tonight. We have this game tonight, obviously, here at Bloomington Stadium. And then the other interesting game that's going on tonight, too, in Chanhassen is going to be the Chanhassen Storm against the Hastings Raiders. Should be a very fun game. Chanhassen has remained unbeaten since their loss at Robbinsdale Armstrong on Friday, October 11, 2019. And Chanhassen in contention to take the Suburban White District this year. It's been predicted, obviously, that Chaska was going to take it this year, but I don't know. Chanhassen, their arch rival, they've got something else to say about it. Should be a very interesting battle of Chanhassen-Chan when that comes around. 1st and goal, high snap, but anyway, Sanders gets it down, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Chaska Hawks. We'll take another look here on the replay of that touchdown run. High snap, but good concentration to corral it by Braden Sanders and having the quick improvisation to just go for it. And Chaska can breathe easy as that extra point is not blocked, as the first one was by the Jefferson defensive unit. So 13-0 is our score. And in the last meeting between these two teams, Chaska scored 14 points in every single quarter.
If you're able, please give to this willing program. The Randy Schaefer Cancer Research Foundation, our cheerleaders will come around at halftime. Thank you very much.
Chaska, a very strong start on offense and also on defense. That balanced attack that they're so well known for has reared its ugly head against the Jefferson Jaguars so far. And a nice 1-yard touchdown run into the end zone by Braden Sanders has the Hawks on top by 13. And this kick will be fielded around the 30-yard line. About the 28 is where they'll mark it. Jefferson's offense, not a whole lot of luck to start the first quarter and really the game. The first drive resulted in a trailer interception, and then the next after that was a 3-and-out. Jefferson looking to score its first points against the Chaska Hawks since 2019. As Jefferson was shut out last year, 49-0 in their last meeting against Chaska. That game was at Chaska. That's always a tough place to play, no matter who you are. But it was a tough loss nonetheless. And again, it's more difficult, especially if you have a lot of new guys, to try and figure out the cadence and just try and get that rhythm down. Handoff up the middle is not going to go anywhere except for maybe a yard to the 30-yard line. It'll be second down and long for Jefferson. Wow, but look at that play by number 9, Benjamin Bowe. He has just been all over the field making terrific plays. Threw off his blocker. There he is. And then got to the running back to bring him down in the A-gap. That's just great defensive play by Bowe for Chaska. And that's a wide open completion up the middle. And number 1, Austin Schroop, the senior, run down inside the 30-yard line. Great pass by Robert Traylor. Going to give that ball to his man, Austin Schroop, getting on his high horse for a big Jefferson first down there, Schroop. And that officially is the biggest play for Jefferson in this game. And now they're looking to cap off that sweet chemistry with a touchdown or at worst a field goal. They want some points out of this. Nice run up the middle. And will he get first down yardage? Not quite. And correction. Well, there's the catch by Schroop. Just ran right up that slot. That last pass play for Jefferson, though, too, that's what they needed. They needed to attack this Chaska secondary if they're going to have any life in the passing game. Traylor completes it on the near side. He's got his man, and it's number 34, Blake Mamalakis. And that catch will be enough to move the chains, and Jefferson now has a first down. Ball at the 11-yard line. Essentially, this is kind of a first and goal. They just needed to get to the 1 for a first down. Nice run. Taking the B gap and is brought down. Aiden Bertrand, number 24 for Jefferson on the carry, using his quickness to pick up a solid gain of yards. It will be second down and manageable here. Three wide set from the gun. Fadeaway pass, back of the end zone, and it is incomplete. Incomplete pass as Traylor was looking for Daniel Freitag, one of the players to watch tonight, but it falls to the turf. Third down and 6. Daniel Freitag almost able to corral it, went in and out of his hands, as we'll get a look on the replay just exactly how close that was to being caught. But that's a good throw nonetheless by Traylor. He put it in the right spot. Here's Traylor to throw. And he's got his man inside the 5. As Schroop made the great catch, but it will be short. Fourth down for Jefferson's offense. Gotta like the offensive strategy for Jefferson, going with the secure throws. Fourth down and 3. And I agree with this call by Tim Carlson. You have to get it into the end zone. Let's see if they can do that. Trailer lobs it. Back of the end zone. And he dropped the touchdown. Did his receiver. An unfortunate drop by Austin Schroop, the senior, cannot get Jefferson on the board as the Jefferson Jaguars turn it over on downs. Well, you're talking about having the right play call and then the right ingredients, and wow. So Chaska dodged a huge bullet as Austin Schroop dropped the touchdown pass that could have been and should have been for Jefferson. And so with that, the Jaguars will remain scoreless. Well, even though Jefferson didn't get the touchdown, they do at least pin the Chaska Hawk offense deep in their own end. Good job by the Jefferson defense, providing the stop in the A-gap as Boyle took it right up the middle. Final minute in the opening quarter of the season premiere of Jefferson football in 2021 against the Chaska Hawks right here on BEC TV. Second down and 4 as Chaska will now work out of the gun. And they'll hand it off to Boyle here. He's going to navigate his way into the second level. At the 21-yard line, will he be dropped? And for a Chaska first down as they move the chains again. You can see some of the fans here tonight. Very good showing from Bloomington Stadium for all these fans. But unfortunately, not a whole lot to cheer about in this first half so far. Of course, they'd love that to change. And I'm sure everyone on that Jefferson sideline, and they almost had something to cheer about, as Jefferson just couldn't get it done on a fourth down. Nice completion into the flat. And Chaska rolls for another first down. Gained around 19. Good rollout pass. Good secure catch by number 26. Xavier Harvio on the receiving end for the Chaska Hawks as we have reached the end of the first quarter. And well, the defending 5A state champions from 2019, showing you why they are the top team in their class as they lead the Jefferson Jaguars here 13-0 right here on BEC TV. We're going to throw it to a short PSA break. We'll be back in just a moment here at Bloomington Stadium. Stick around.
If doctors, nurses, and grocery store clerks can wear a mask for 10 or 12-hour shifts, you can wear a mask for an hour or less when you go to the store. Do your part. Mask up, America.
Welcome back to Bloomington Stadium here on this rainy but getting more clear Thursday night for football. Jefferson opens their season against Chaska tonight. And a really rough first quarter for Jefferson, but they're looking to turn it around. And Chaska will start the second quarter with a nice run by Boyle up the middle. He's got a little entourage, and he'll take it down to around the 45-yard line. Another first down for Chaska. And another 10-plus yard play for the Hawks offense. trying to keep the Jefferson Jag defense back on their heels. And Boyle has already found the end zone in this game. He scored the very first touchdown of the game, in fact. The extra point afterwards was blocked by the Jefferson defense. And then the second Chaska touchdown came on a quarterback keeper by their senior Braden Sanders, number 2. And we're going to get a whistle here as play will stop. And that whistle called because number 19 for Jefferson, Daniel Freitag, forgot his mouth guard. And you have to have the mouth guard on. That is a requirement of play here in the Minnesota State High School League. Big tackle in the hole. That's the kind of stop if you're looking for. If you're a Jefferson Jaguar, look at this. Brock Edwards giving the defense some muscle to bring down Braden Sanders. As Sanders thought he could get away with another one, but Brock Edwards had another idea. And it will be 2nd down and 9. Good stop by Jefferson's defense up front. From the gun again, 2nd down and 9. Sanders is going to launch this one deep. Cruise missile incoming, and it's knocked away. A great play defensively by Freitag to deny him, Braden Sanders, from completing it to his receiver. And we'll get another look here on the replay. Nice defensive play by Freitag. Wow. Good job of trusting his mechanics. Those plays are never easy, but when he flashed that arm out like he did, got a clean block, makes it look easy. 3rd down and a long 9 for Chaska. Run up the middle, and no, it's a misdirection as Sanders is still on his feet. He has the ball, and now he's going to get brought down inside the 30. And Chaska finding another way to move the chains and pick up a 1st down. Even at B-fooled for a little bit. These misdirection plays are really killing Jefferson's defense. Look at this. And unfortunately, after that big run by Sanders, there is a flag on the play. And this one is going to come back. So Jefferson's defense helped tremendously by another offensive penalty against Chaska. So what would have been a 1st down inside the 30 winds up being a 3rd down and 19 because of the offensive penalty. From the gun, Chaska looking to pass here on 3rd down. 3rd and 24. Pressure in the backfield. And still getting away with Sanders, and then flushed out to his right and throws it away out of bounds. And Jefferson's defense with a huge stop as Chaska goes 3 and out. Great defensive pressure by Jefferson in the back from Isaac Sevig. I apologize if I am not pronouncing that name correctly. There's a lot of new names that I have to get used to this year and through the coming years in Jefferson football. Freitag back to receive the punt for Jefferson as the defense able to get a much-needed stop. And they were aided very well by that offensive penalty. Here's Freitag on the return, trying to switch field, got tripped up and is taken down, just crossing the 30-yard line. He got to about the 33 is where they're going to mark him. So now we get to take a look at Jefferson's offense, and the last drive almost resulted in a touchdown to Austin Schroop, the senior wide receiver, on 4th down, but he dropped it in the end zone. And we're going to get another look here. The return by Freitag. Nice cut, trying to switch field, but got a little eaten up. From the 33-yard line, Jefferson has the football, 1st down and 10. Trailer, the toss to Bertrand, trying to get around the edge, and he is swallowed by 2 Chaska Hawks. Good defensive play. It will be 2nd down and long for Jefferson. Let's take another look here on the replay. There's Bertrand being chased by Sewer and then eventually brought down on that near side. And he will be brought down a yard behind the original line of scrimmage. Ball at the 32-yard line. Trailer, quick toss, and it is a little bit too hot for his favorite target, Austin Schroep. Not able to make the play. Ball thrown a little bit too hard as the incompletion will bring up 3rd down and 11 for the Jaguars. Defensive line substitution for Chaska. Here's Trailer, rolls out to his right. He's got space, and he's going to take off. He's going to do it himself, diving to the line to gain. They're going to roll him in bounds, but does he have enough for the 1st down? And we're going to take another look here on the replay. Good job rolling out, extending the play, and getting upfield. I was going to say the 3rd down sign is still showing, and yep, there it is. It changed to 4th down. It is 4th down and 1. We're going to get a quick whistle here, and we're going to get a timeout as Tim Carlson will expend his 2nd of the half. Jefferson now with 1 timeout remaining. Well, folks, Jefferson's starting to get some traction on offense. A good run, as you just saw, by their starting quarterback, number 11, Robert Trailer, making plays with his feet. There's the Jefferson huddle talking over the strategy here on 4th down and 1. We'll see how this offensive line does on this 4th down and 1. It actually plays into the key matchup tonight, folks. It's going to be the Chaska defensive line against the Jefferson offensive line. And another thing, too, the main thing for Jefferson, they really have to slow the pace of this game. And this has to do a little bit more with the defense, and they did a great job of that on the previous stop they had on Chaska, aided by that long penalty that Chaska committed. It's 4th and 1. Direct snap. They tried a quarterback draw, but does he have enough for the 1st down? He looked to be short of the marker. And we will see where the officials spot it. And it is, I think, a 1st down? No, not quite. The official still talking about it. The Jefferson sideline started cheering, and then I thought for a second, well, maybe it was a 1st down, maybe not. Give the officials credit, trying to make sure to get the ball placement correct here. It's especially as critical as this down is for Jefferson, and considering their current standing in the game points-wise, they need the points. And it's just enough for a 1st down. Despite the premature celebration by the Jefferson sideline, thinking it was a 1st down, they were eventually proven correct in celebrating that. But sometimes you just have to hold on, let the process work out. And here's Bertrand. Right through the hole, gets to about the 45-yard line. Pick up of a couple. Will be 2nd down and 8 from the 45-yard line. There's a look at the Jefferson backfield, and number 11, the starter for tonight, Robert Traylor at quarterback. And also Aiden Bertrand with him, number 24. Aiden Bertrand on Inside Jefferson Football on Tuesday night. Had some fun things to share about the way he plays in just his game. They're going to go with an end around here. Got some yards, did Austin Schroop on the end around, but it'll be well short of the marker. Third down coming up again for the Jefferson offensive unit.
Christian Wolf defending for the Hawks on the play that brings
And we'll get another look here.
Jefferson. Ball is spotted at the Jaguars 46-yard line.
Third down and 6 coming up for the Jefferson offense. From the 46-yard line, Traylor unloads deep downfield. It's caught at the 20-yard line, and it's Freitag with the big haul, delivering the payload from Traylor, and Jefferson sets up 1st and 10. And this crowd now has something big to cheer about again. And Traylor lobbing it up for his man Freitag, trusting his receiver, and this time he comes down with it perfectly in tight coverage. Handoff, Bertrand around the left side, got dragged by his jersey, tackled, and a flag comes in at the end of the play. And this flag looking like it will be an offensive penalty against Jefferson. And that will be the case. And we'll get another look here to see if we can try and find out where the penalty was. Good stop, though, by Chaska on Aiden Bertrand, the running back for Jefferson. First down and 20. From the 32. Handoff to Bertrand up the middle, plows ahead. He's inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and long coming up. Good solid handoff. Good to see the chemistry in the backfield between Bertrand and Traylor. From the 29 of Chaska, Traylor. Quick toss to Bertrand, and Bertrand is dumped. Big old TFL by Chaska's number 58, Ryan Mercer, who made the stop in the backfield, and it is again going to be another long chance, or a whole lot of yards, I should say, probably a better way of explaining it. 3rd down and 25 now for Jefferson's offense, and this Columbia blue and white brigade just keeps backing up. 3rd and 25. Traylor under duress, and he goes down. Benjamin Bowe, I believe, is going to get the sack on that as he tripped up Traylor. And it'll be 4th down and about a mile. And Jefferson at this point in the game figures, what do we have to lose? We're, of course, going to go for it. Well, I thought. And instead they're going to punt it away. Good return up the sideline for Chaska, number 4, Carver Miller. And so we will see what this Jefferson defense dials up on their next stand against Chaska's offensive possession coming up. We'll get another look here on the return. Good hard piece of returning by Carver Miller, number 4 for Chaska. Chaska will start on offense from their own 20. Jefferson got a huge 3-and-out there last time out on the field against Chaska's offense, and thanks to an offensive penalty, They were able to force him to go 3 and out. Let's see what Jefferson's defense can do here. Sanders again has it. He's got some room. He's up the middle of the field, and Braden Sanders taking off to midfield where he is run down. But not before he gets a big gain and a first down as Chaska moves the chains again on another huge chunk play. And we'll get another look. This blocking game for Chaska is just something to behold, isn't it? And a good tackle by Jefferson's number 28, San Roman. Oh, a fumble on the field, and it's picked up by the Jefferson defense. Chaska played with their food a little bit too much, and they choked on it. We'll get a look here on the replay. Fake handoff to Boyle, and then they tried to pitch it out. And Carver Miller couldn't get the handle on it, and it's recovered by Jefferson's number 33, Brock Edwards. And both of these two teams now each have a turnover in this game. Jefferson committed the first turnover. That was on their very first offensive possession as Traylor threw an interception. And now it's the Chaska fumble. So Jefferson's offense right back out onto the field, and the defense for Jefferson starting to really rev their engine. And they're going to get a much-deserved rest here. First down and 10 for Jefferson from the 40-yard line. It's going to be a gadget play. Lobs it, end zone, and a flag is thrown as Freitag dove to try and make the catch. Could not. This could be pass interference, and a Jefferson first and goal. So how about this? Jefferson with some trickery of their own on the gadget play that almost worked out to Freitag, and yeah, that's pass interference by a mile, buddy. Well, unless you're New Orleans, Nolan Kemp called for pass interference as the gadget play almost worked for Jefferson. From the gun, Traylor hands off to Bertrand, and Bertrand through the hole and gets plugged instantly after about a yard or so on the carry. Second down. Second down, Traylor flushed out, throws to the far side, and he has his man. It's complete. And so Jefferson now set up with a 3rd and short, about a 3rd and 2 as we get another look here on the replay. Good job by Traylor again to use his feet and find his target. 3rd down and 3 from the gun. Freitag drops back to pass. He's going to shift to his left now, looking for somebody. He's going to throw. And Jefferson is able to pick up the first down, and Traylor again making plays with his feet and also his arm as we'll get another look here on the replay. And that's a great grab on the near side by Austin Schroep, the senior wide receiver. Handoff. And Bertrand is not going to go anywhere. Hawks flying in all around him as he will succumb to their rush and be dropped for a loss on the play. Aiden Bertrand lost a couple on that run. The Jefferson student body starting to make a lot of noise at that end. For the Chaska defense, a run up the middle by Brock Edwards is going to get shut down at about around the 15-yard line. Well, that's the guy you want to run up the A-gap with, right up the middle, Brock Edwards. The bigger of the two starting backs for Jefferson, able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Back to where they started following the great completion on the near side made to Austin Schrupp. 3rd down and 10 now for Jefferson's offense, navigating out of the gun. You got 3 receivers right. And here's Traylor, throws, and it is! Did he make the catch? It's caught! And guess who it is? It's Schrupp again, coming back to bail out his quarterback. And a great catch is made on the far side, but unfortunately it will be just short of the 1st down marker. 4th down and 4 coming up for Jefferson. We'll get another look here, and Traylor flushed out of the pocket. Good pressure by number 58, Ryan Mercer. But a great play by Traylor to hang in the pocket and complete it to his target, Austin Schrupp. Got to give Schrupp a lot of credit, though, recognizing his quarterback is in trouble and coming back to give his quarterback a chance to make a completion and move the ball forward up the field. And so now a timeout is called, and Tim Carlson wants to talk about this at length. And if you ask me, that's a very wise decision. Jefferson right now trying to find its first score against the Chaska Hawks since 2019. We'll see what Jefferson dials up here on this 4th down and about 4. And considering how well the passing game has worked to this point, considering how good Chaska's defense is, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a pass here by Traylor. Crowd getting rambunctious on this 4th down and 4. From the 10-yard line, Traylor has it, rips it, fadeaway corner, it's caught! Touchdown, Jefferson in the back of the end zone. And who else? It's Freitag doing the dirty work. Robert Traylor dropping dimes. And a great piece of footwork in the back of the end zone. Also great hands, too, to bring the ball in by Daniel Freitag. And Jefferson looking to keep the onslaught coming. They're going to go for 2. Here's Traylor, rolls out. A flag is down as Traylor is brought down in the backfield for a sack by Benjamin Bowe. And it's an offensive penalty. Chaska will decline, so no 2-point conversion for Jefferson. And we're going to get another look at this touchdown pass by Traylor, hooking up with his man, Freitag, in the end zone. Boy, isn't that a beautiful throw and catch. And Freitag, he only needed to have 1 foot down in bounds. He got a couple. That's good in the NFL. And really, I got to tell you, that is a very, very well-thrown ball by Traylor. We saw it earlier in this game, too, at the other end zone. And he finally is able to hook up with Freitag on that lob pass. And Jefferson has found its first points against the Chaska Hawks since 2019, when they were literally blown up like an atomic bomb on the road at Chaska, as many teams have succumbed to that fate. But Jefferson keeping it close. And approaching half a minute here in the first half. I got to tell you, this is quite some game. And here's the return by Chaska. And that's a good tackle, good contact made by Jefferson's number 82, Marcus Lamanga. And we're going to get a flag at the end of this play. We're going to see what the call on the field is. This might be a block in the back. And in fact, it's a face mask penalty against the Jefferson special teams defensive unit trying to cover that kick. And so that will march the ball up the field 15 yards, added on to the end of the return for Chaska. And that penalty will, in fact, march the ball all the way into Jefferson territory at the 45-yard line. So another short field for the Chaska Hawks offense to work from. Last outing wasn't that successful for Chaska. They gave up a fumble that led to a Jefferson touchdown on the ensuing Jefferson offensive possession. Good completion out to the near side on the screen. Play is whistled dead. They say he stepped out of bounds. And it will be second down and long for Chaska's offense. Good catch by Carver Miller, but he was not able to stay in bounds. They say he actually lost a yard. So it'll be second down and 11 from the 46-yard line. 3 wide receivers left from the gun for Chaska. Sanders drops back, he's got pressure, throws over the middle, and it is incomplete. Freitag made the great defensive play, and a good pressure package was put on by the big boys up front for Jefferson. Third down and 11 coming up. And that will end the first half. So no third down and 11. And so just a second here, folks. Right as the clock ended, the clock actually was supposed to stop. So we actually will get a third down and 11. My bad on that. And yeah, that's just about right. 4 seconds left to go here in the first half. And Chaska is going to talk about this a little bit, and so will Jefferson. You got to like how Jefferson has played in the second quarter. And at times, Jefferson's looked a little bit like Chaska, especially that last touchdown pass thrown so beautifully to Freitag from trailer in the back of the end zone that got Jefferson its first points against Chaska since 2019. And those fadeaway balls are not the easiest kind of pass to complete. You can really see the kind of chemistry that this offense has been putting on display in this game, but also really that kind of speaks to how well, I guess, things have gone in summer camps. And, you know, Coach Carlson was excited about this season. He was talking to us on Inside Jefferson Football last Tuesday that the summer camps were a lot of fun. A lot of progress has been made, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They've definitely shown that in the second quarter as Jefferson's defense. Faced with a 3rd and 11 here, Chaska has it. Sanders flushed, escapes. He's got open grass in front of him, and Sanders is going to slide down just short of the marker. And that will run out the clock as we have officially, this time, have ended the first half at Bloomington Stadium. And this game, as these both teams go to the locker room, probably a lot closer than many expected given the matchups in years past that these two teams have played each other in. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at some first half highlights. This is a first half that, if you missed it, shame on you, because we had some great plays. And this was the opening touchdown of the game. Boyle rips off a big run right through that A-gap. And when he's in open field, you can pretty much wave bye-bye. That was the first Chaska touchdown. And Boyle, that run on the next drive, not quite able to break the goal line. And by that time, the quarterback keeper secured for Chaska's second touchdown by Braden Sanders. Now, rolling out to his right. This is the kind of playmaking that Traylor would have to make to keep his offense moving down the field, and that connection was just real sweet to Freitag, and that combination has been Jefferson's real advantage over Chaska's defense. You just saw the fumble given up by Chaska, and then that led to this. A great pass, and then another great pass. This being the first Jefferson touchdown since 2019 against Chaska, and who else? Freitag and Traylor really showing you just exactly the kind of touch he puts on that football, being able to drop dimes in some pretty tight spaces as Jefferson keeping pace with Chaska, but can that be sustained? But instead, we're going to have to wait as halftime is already here at Bloomington Stadium. We're going to throw it down to the field in the Jefferson Jaguar Marching Band. Stick around. You're watching BEC TV.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls. It's halftime, and that means it is the kickoff to the 2021-22 Jefferson High School Jaguar Marching Band season. The band and flags have been working hard this summer to bring you another year of on-field excitement. Tonight, your Jefferson Jaguar Marching Band will be performing to music from the popular British Secret Service agent film series James Bond, with drill created and rehearsed by our very own drum major, Jamie Melville. And now please welcome to the field your 2021 Jefferson High School Jaguar Marching Band. Take it away, band. One of the highest grossing box office series of all time, James Bond movies have featured legendary actors portraying 007 as well as many memorable villains. To start off tonight's show, the Jefferson Marching Band performs the signature theme music used in each of the James Bond films since Dr. No in 1962. Recognizable from the first few notes, please enjoy the James Bond theme. Next, the marching band will perform a piece that was once ranked by Rolling Stone magazine as the best opening theme song of any of the Bond films. Highlighting the powerful trumpet section led by senior section leaders Danica Schmidt and Lexi Johnson, here are the trumpets and the band with Goldfinger. Next, we would like to bring the Jefferson Flag Corps to the front of the field. Under the direction of Drum Major Jamie Melville, the band and flags will perform to another classic Bond theme song recorded by Paul McCartney and Wings. Please enjoy as the flags present their colorful and flashy display to Live and Let Die. To close this evening's performance, the Jefferson Marching Band will perform the soundtrack to the 12th James Bond film. Nominated for both an Academy Award and Golden Globe, and performed by Sheena Easton, here is the Jaguar Marching Band with For Your Eyes Only. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is your 2021 Jefferson Jaguar Marching Band.
sky's my hero. I see your light in the dark, smile in my face when we all know it's hard. You're doing a good job, a good job. You're doing a good job, don't get too down. The world needs you now, know that you matter, matter.
Almost ready to start the second half here at Bloomington Stadium on BEC TV's Thursday Night Football, not Friday Night Football. Alex Redding alongside our crew here at BEC TV. So privileged to provide you all, the audience, a great start to the 2021 Minnesota State High School League football season for Jefferson and Chaska. This game has been much closer than I expected, and probably many of you have expected, given how talented Chaska has been over the last several years, including their 2019 ride to glory and the 5A title they won at the state tournament. We'll talk about a first half. Chaska started out with a 13-0 lead, and then Jefferson in the second quarter down the stretch with a beautiful, beautiful play to Freitag in the back of the end zone. A great throw made by Taylor. Number 11, Jefferson's starting quarterback. Robert Taylor dropping dimes tonight as Jefferson got on the board against Chaska for the first time since 2019. And we'll see what the second half brings here at Bloomington Stadium as these two teams get ready to tussle for the second act. Jefferson tonight trying to obviously beat Chaska, and they came really close to doing so back in 2014 in this very venue, losing by a score of 21-20. And that was during Hall of Fame night right here on BEC TV. And since that matchup, Jefferson has averaged 14.3 points scored per game since. Not a very pretty number when you look at it, but Jefferson definitely looking to rewrite that script. Squib kick returned by Chaska as they will start with the ball to begin the second half. And so now we'll get to see in just moments this Chaska Hawk offense under the direction of number 2, Braden Sanders, who has been making plays all night with his arm and with his feet. Braden Sanders already has a rushing touchdown in this game. Scored that way deep in the red zone back in the opening quarter. And that was the second touchdown of the game, second touchdown for Chaska. You also got to look out in the backfield as Jack Boyle, a starting running back, will also do some damage. He already did in this game. Rushing for a touchdown to open the game, and that play is going nowhere. Jefferson's defense really electrified and has stayed that way, especially after that last play, since the second quarter. And I got to tell you, after talking to Tim Carlson just before the game this week, was really excited about the improvements that he's seen on defense, and I got to say, I've really been impressed as to what I've seen so far. And you know, you can't ask for any more than what these guys are putting up against Chaska right now. Here's a handoff to Boyle. A big burst of speed, makes a great cut. He's got a first down, and he's going to get brought down just past midfield into Jefferson territory. And Chaska able to keep the ground game running. And Jefferson's had quite a bit of difficulty on defense amidst all the great bright spots in this game, trying to stop the Chaska run. And when you have a mobile quarterback in the backfield for Chaska, and then you have a dynamic running back in Jack Boyle, that just exacerbates your concerns, I would guess, for any team. But especially Jefferson, considering the fact that there's quite a few new people on the defensive unit this year that are just trying to get fresh and get worked in. Hard piece of running by Boyle. Got about 5 yards on the carry for Chaska. It'll bring up second down and 5. So take another look here on the replay. Jack Boyle. Just such a tough runner. And making sure also, too, that he's brought down going forward. And he'll get it again here. 2nd and 5 run. Picks up 6. And has enough for a first down. Let's see again. Good blocking around the left side by Chaska. Colton Rada, number 76. One of the big men up front on that last run. Put a nice block in there, just giving his running back a little extra room to pick up that first down yardage right near the line to gain. And they're going to hand it off right to Boyle. Jefferson's not fooled this time, and he'll be brought down immediately. Second down. Let's get another look here on the replay. And how about Jefferson's number 84, Isaac Sevig? I believe that's how you pronounce his last name, although please forgive me if that is not the correct pronunciation. A lot of unique last names on this Jefferson roster this year. Play, action play. Sanders on the run, throws. The pass is low and caught, but was it incomplete? And they're going to say it was a catch. Andrew Schaefer, number 21, on the receiving end as we get another look here on the replay. Good look by our crew. Good concentration by Chaska's number 12. That is actually, I like to issue a correction. That's Cale Dashino on the receiving end. I was looking at the Jefferson roster by mistake. Third down and one play. Chaska will convert. They move the chains. First down and 10. More substitutions in for the Jefferson defense. And one of those substitutions, Austin Schroep. Austin Schroep has been quite busy offensively in this game. He's on the wide receiving core, but on defense, he's a linebacker. They'll run it with Boyle again, does Chaska, up the middle. And some decent yards. Got around about 6 or 7 on that run. And another manageable play coming up for Chaska as we get another look here. Just so dominant up the middle and good blocks thrown all the way around by this Chaska offense, especially on the ground. Second down and 4, 6-yard gain on the previous run. And they're going to draw this one to Boyle. Boyle still plowing through Jaguar defenders inside the 10-yard line. First and goal, Chaska. And Chaska's run game has been seemingly insurmountable to try and stop. But give Jefferson's defense credit, as they were all over him as he started to break into the secondary. But not before he got down to the 7-yard line. We'll see if Chaska will go to the ground again. It's been their bread and butter in this game. They will do just that. Boyle charging into the end zone, knocking over a Jefferson defender on his way to the promised land. Touchdown, Chaska Hawks. Jack Boyle, the senior running back, in with his second touchdown of the night. And you look at that blocking thrown by the Chaska offensive line on that replay on the right side of your screen. Just so well done by this Chaska offensive line and the effort they put in. And really those run plays are what the offensive linemen really like, because instead of having to sit back in pass protection in a defensive mode, they actually get to go out on more of an attack mode where they get to push defenders back. So for a lineman, it feels pretty good, especially when you are able to bring good size to the table. We do have an injured player down. Is to try and get a look who this is for the Jefferson Jaguars. And number 28, Maximo San Roman, shaken up on the play. And glad to see that he's up and walking, although a little gingerly to the sideline. Chaska now to attempt the PAT. Jefferson's blocked one PAT tonight. And they almost did there, but Chaska able to secure the point after. And the Hawks now extend their lead. So we're going to take a look at the injury here on this replay. There's the big blockers up front, that trio there. And the injury's right here. It's that hit that Jack Boyle put on San Roman as he charged through into the end zone. Boyle also with a really potent low center of gravity. Very important considering his size. And so Chaska with a really good response here so far in the third quarter, able to punch it in, courtesy of the senior Jack Boyle. So the question now for Jefferson's defense throughout the remainder of this game is, how are they going to stop this run? And that's going to be a real tough test to try and answer, just because you have to face a mobile quarterback in Braden Sanders, who has run all over this defense in the first half. And then you have to deal with Boyle as well, who we just saw went into the end zone and scored a touchdown lowering the shoulder. And this Jefferson return brought out to the 20-yard line. So let's see if the Jefferson offense can go the distance. They did down the stretch in that second quarter towards the end of the first half. And a great fadeaway completion. Scored the Jefferson touchdown. Freitag on the receiving end as Traylor lobbed a really perfect pass. That had a really good spiral to it, I must say. First down and 10 for Traylor and the Jefferson offense. And this drop play up the middle is going to go nowhere. Second effort is not going to be anything for him. And Chaska right now, those big boys up front starting to take command of this game. Caleb Rector, number 73, with some great pressure right up the middle. We'll see what Rector and his defensive line mates can do here on the second down and long. Traylor rolls out and he has it complete. And he's going to complete it to his running back, Aiden Bertrand, on the far side. It's going to be third down and long. Third down and 7 for this Jefferson Jaguar offense. Jefferson from the gun. Traylor rolls out left. He's got pressure, lobs it down the field. It's caught! Maxwell Clark saying, hey, I'm into this game too. Picking up a big Jefferson first down. Maxwell Clark on the receiving end of a great pass from Traylor out of the backfield. And Traylor, again, making plays with his feet. First down and 10 from the Chaska 44. Here's Bertrand trying to slice in and find a lane, but he will be dragged down just short of the line of scrimmage. Second down and 11 coming up. Just under 5 minutes to go here in this third quarter. Traylor rips it right away. He's got his man. And he's still fighting for extra yards, and finally dragged out of bounds as Austin Schroep, the senior wide receiver, making a great play and a connection, picking up some more big chunk yards for Jefferson's offense. And Schroep able to find a really nice piece of real estate for him to get open and give his quarterback an easy play. Gotta like the vision from Traylor too. He's been making some very great throws in this game. Traylor flushed out again. Is going to lob it down the sideline, and that one should have been intercepted, but it is not, and it falls incomplete. Trevor Oder, number 7, for Chaska, almost made the pick. And we'll get another look here on the replay. Now often has Traylor had to do that, make plays with his feet. He was trying to get it down the field to Sevig, but it went in and out of reach of Chaska's number 7, Trevor Oder, which thankfully for Traylor did not result in his second interception of the game. Traylor throws, and he's got his man. It's Freitag on the money. And a Jefferson first down to the 25 of Chaska as they move the chains again, but a flag is thrown, and it is against the defense. And I got to tell you, this Chaska Hawks secondary is up there with the best. And Traylor and his playmaking ability and his arm, and really these receivers too, running some good routes to help them get worked in and comfortable, have really allowed this Jefferson offense to keep themselves with Chaska. Jefferson continues their onward march, 1st and 10 inside the red zone. And they're going to hand it off here to the big man, and, well, even bigger men were in the hole to stop that run from getting anywhere. Chaska stops Jefferson on the run up the middle, and it will be 2nd down and 10, no gain. There's number 33, Brock Edwards. Brock Edwards, the power running back for Jefferson, that bigger body in that backfield. Second down and 10. Traylor rolls, throws, and the pass is incomplete in the flat. Maxwell Clark, the intended target, could not hold on to the pass, and it will bring up 3rd down and 10. There's a look at the Chaska Hawks sideline. So we'll get another look here on the replay. That incomplete pass to Maxwell Clark. Throw just a little bit too hot. And here's Traylor on 3rd down, rolls out, flings it to the end zone. And the ball looked to be intercepted. But it is not the case. Blake Mamalakis on the receiving end. Wow. I thought that play was intercepted for a second by Carver Miller, but instead it's a completed catch by the Jefferson's offense to Mamalakis. Another fadeaway ball. He's got Freitag again in the end zone, and a flag is down, probably for pass interference. Traylor tearing up this Chaska defense with his arm and with his feet, making plays all over the place. Wow. And again, it's Freitag. And the penalty is indeed against the Chaska Hawks. And that is now the 2nd consecutive touchdown to Freitag from his quarterback, Traylor. And on a near identical play, So Jefferson failed their first 2-point conversion attempt as Traylor lobs it into the end zone here, and it is going to be incomplete. So Jefferson now 0 for 2 on 2-point tries. Let's take another look at that touchdown, and boy, I got to tell you, this speed and athleticism is really making life a holy terror for this Chaska secondary as Freitag finds the end zone again on the receiving end of yet another beautifully thrown ball by Traylor. So how about this? With 2:46 left to play in this game, Chaska has only scored 20 points, in which they've probably scored more on average at this point, considering how good they are and how much they've scored in the previous seasons at this point in the game. I mean, Jefferson has to really be proud of themselves in the way they played on both sides of the ball. We're going to take another look at this touchdown. And here's another angle here. But watch Traylor hang in there, and he just gets incinerated by that pass rush. But those are the kind of sacrifices that you have to make if you're going to be playing a team well, especially Chaska. Kickoff recovered by Chaska at the 35-yard line. Pretty dicey recovery. And we will be afforded yet another chance to see this very dominant Chaska rushing offense get back out onto the field for yet another drive. But Jefferson starting to put some pressure on. And as you just saw moments ago on the sideline, Jefferson Jaguar head coach Tim Carlson. We'll see what Coach Carlson and the defense dials up here on Chaska's first down and 10 from their own 34-yard line is where they will mark it. From the gun, they're going to run it up the middle with Boyle, and Boyle cannot be stopped until he finally is dragged down at around midfield, and another Chaska first down. And Boyle's been running very well, but even more importantly, his big men up front have had a really successful night. First down and 10 from the 48, following the Boyle run, and he'll get it again here right up the middle. And he will surge forward for another huge chunk play. And is going to pick up 9 on the carry, moving that ball into Jefferson territory to the 44-yard line. And again, the big men leading the way for Chaska. Second down and a yard. Another quick draw play. Or no, it's a play action play, and it's complete. Sanders has got his target. Parker LeVar for a first down, Chaska. You can see the play fake. Boy, and Chaska's really sold their play fakes well throughout this game. And a good throw and catch routine by the Chaska offense. Final minute of the third quarter here at Bloomington Stadium, right here on BEC TV. Glad you could all join us here on this Thursday night for football to start the Jefferson and Chaska football seasons. And another hard piece of running up the middle, and Boyle's gone. Touchdown, Chaska Hawks. And that is Boyle's hat trick. He's got 3 on the night. Jack Boyle turning the Jefferson defense into his own doormat as he just busted loose for another damaging run to the end zone. And Jefferson's defense on that last Chaska offensive drive could not find an answer again for this Chaska running game. But Jefferson's not without hope, though. They have an offense that can move the ball through the air very efficiently, as we just saw on the last offensive drive for Jefferson. Robert Traylor was able to hook up with Daniel Freitag on another great pass and get Jefferson 12 points. And so with the last offensive possession for Jefferson resulting in a touchdown, I don't think you would change much here. I think you have to go to the air, and considering that Chaska just scored on the other end, 26-12, Jefferson definitely going to be looking to pass the ball with a few run plays sprinkled in to try and work this defense for Chaska a little bit. But mainly it's going to be passing pretty much down the stretch here for Jefferson. But you know what? You got to like your chances at getting the ball into the end zone, especially when you have Mr. 11 in the backfield, Traylor. And here's the return by Jefferson. Good second effort to get the ball up past the 25-yard line. Malachi Sorensen on the return for Jefferson will set up his offense just past the 25-yard line to the 27. As we can see, some of the fans moments ago bundled up in their rain gear. It's been raining off and on here at Bloomington Stadium. But the good news is that it hasn't been too rainy. First down and 10. And a nice run. And he's still going. Down the sideline, past midfield. Aiden Bertrand tearing the Chaska defense a new hole on that huge Jefferson run. Boy, that's something that you gotta love to see if you're Jefferson. And finally, a run play that goes for some big yards. Broke a tackle, too. Just busting loose. Aiden Bertrand showing you what you can do when he gets into the open field. He's got a lot of speed. Trailer, short toss. The pass is complete. But the Chaska defense was right there to ensure no gain was made. Second down at 11, they're going to say he lost a yard. Jefferson navigating from its own 49-yard line. And the clock will run out on the third quarter of play. And we're going to go ahead and toss it to a short break. We'll be back for the fourth quarter in a moment. Stick around. You're watching Thursday Night Jefferson football right here on BEC TV.
Myth. I can party with people as long as they don't have symptoms. That myth is false. As we've seen, up to 40% of people who have COVID-19 are asymptomatic and can pass it on to others. So I'd recommend avoiding any social parties, especially indoor ones. If you want to try to socialize but reduce your risk, I'd recommend meeting outside in small groups, continuing to wear a mask, and socially distancing from others if you can. Then together, we can keep COVID-19 out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
Back and ready to start the final quarter of play here at Bloomington Stadium as Jefferson trails the still defending Class 5A champion Chaska Hawks 26-12. And the Chaska defense is going to bring Jefferson down in the backfield for another loss on this offensive drive, and it'll bring up another 3rd down and long. Well, the 4th quarter in this game is going to be more than crunch time for Jefferson. They gave up 2 rushing touchdowns to Chaska's number 11, Jack Boyle. And Boyle has 3 touchdowns in this game. He has himself a hat trick. And that pass should have been intercepted. The intended target was Austin Schroep. And I got to tell you, Traylor is lucky that that ball was not intercepted as Jefferson goes 3 and out. That was a dangerous, dangerous throw as we get another look here on the replay. Ball partially deflected and that one should have been intercepted. Woo! Almost a block for Chaska on special teams against the Jefferson punt, and this ball will take a seat just inside the 30. So we take a look here on the replay. 7 on 7. Trevor Oder almost had a punt block for Chaska. The only blocked kick in this game of any kind actually came in the 1st quarter, and that was Jefferson blocking the Chaska PAT following the first touchdown of the game scored by Jack Boyle. And speaking of Jack Boyle, he has been a runaway freight train, scoring 3 touchdowns in this game with 2 coming in the 3rd quarter. Right down the pipe against Jefferson's defense. Chaska looking to get its ground game going once again and trying to milk this clock and get out of here with a win, but Jefferson trying to get a key stop or 2. A flag is down as number 4, Carver Miller, gets around the edge and is going to get about 5 on the play, but we'll check the flag. And that play is going backwards for Chaska. Completely negated. False start. Wow, hard piece of running for Carver Miller, the senior wide receiver, 6 foot, 180 pounds. First down and 15 for the Chaska Hawks. Let's see if Jefferson's defense can capitalize on the Chaska offensive penalty. Get a stop. Here is Boyle. And Boyle is able to surge about a yard past the original line of scrimmage, making it a Chaska 2nd down and 9. We're going to take a replay. And I think this is where the false start was, as we get a great look from our crew here. I think. Yep. And I believe Boyle, with that good replay vantage point, committed the false start for Chaska. Meanwhile, Jefferson's defense is going to put a stop to whatever Chaska was trying to do on the ground there, and it's going to be 3rd down and long for Jefferson. Get another look here on the draw play. How about that? Number 24, Aiden Bertrand getting in there and making a nice play, bringing Boyle down with some help. Aiden Bertrand, normally the starting running back for Jefferson, also plays defense. Trying to make some noise on the ball, on both sides of the ball, in which he has. Uh-oh, big blitz. pass is complete in the flat, and it's Boyle as Sanders got it to his man. A flag is thrown as Boyle picks up the first down, but we'll check the flag. Let's get another look here on the replay. Nice work by Boyle cutting across to where his quarterback could get it to him, but unfortunately that penalty that was thrown is going to go against the Chaska offense. So that play is now X'd out. So no first down and no third down and 9. It's going to be third down and much more than that. Third down and 14 from the 29-yard line. Jefferson's defense given a couple of freebies on the Chaska offensive penalties. And Sanders dumps it out into the flat. Ball is deflected and it hit the turf, incomplete. Fourth down. So again, Chaska, two very critical offensive penalties. You get the false start on Boyle, and then you get the holding call. And we're going to get another look here on the replay. This was on the first down that should not have been. And that holding call, I believe, watch number 74 to the left of your screen on Aiden Bertrand. Kind of held him a little bit. I believe that's where the holding call came from. And punt taken by Bertrand, speaking of which. A correction, that is not Aiden Bertrand. That is 3-4, not 2-4. And Blake Mamalakis on the return for Jefferson. So now with 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in this game. Jefferson, a very positive situation for them in their offense. They've been able to move the ball through the air very efficiently for the majority of this game tonight. They were able to get a stop, aided by two Chaska offensive penalties, and were able to force them 3 and out. And they have 12 points down, 26-12. So this game definitely not out of reach for Jefferson quite yet. First down. And that pass is going to get thrown away. Good coverage by Chaska in defense as Traylor had nobody to throw to. He was looking to go deep, but didn't want to risk it. You got to make the secure play here and just threw it away. It'll be second down and 10. Second down and 10 from the gun. High snap. It's over his head. Robert Traylor is able to recover that high snap, but man, that is a real dangerous play that could have been a disaster for Jefferson. But now they are faced with the reality of third down and about 2 miles to convert. And to be exact, it's third down and a whopping 30. Big run up the middle by Aiden Bertrand, falling down at the 40-yard line. We'll get another look there. Good blocking upfield by Jefferson, but too many Chaska Hawks between him and the line to gain. Fourth down and 22. Big pass, incomplete. Traylor was looking to get it to his intended target, number 32, and that, or 34, Blake Mamalakis. And it is incomplete. We'll take another look here on the replay. Just in and out of the hands of Mamalakis. So the Jaguars turn the ball over on downs. And that very well could be the game. And considering how well Chaska has run the football, Chaska needs one more touchdown to officially secure this thing and get out of here with a win. And here's Boyle making some great cuts, bulldozing his way across the 30 into the Jefferson secondary and picking up a first down. 11 yards for Jack Boyle, the senior running back in Chaska. And the Chaska student body getting riled up for their Chaska Hawks with the chant, "Soar Hawks." First down and 10. They're going to give it to Boyle again. Why wouldn't you? Jack Boyle down inside the 5. Jack Boyle brought down and around the 2-yard line. Another huge piece of running by Jack Boyle, and he's looking to get in for his 4th touchdown of the night. He already has the hat trick. He has 3. And we'll see what the Hawks dial up here as they look to put away the hosting Jefferson Jaguars here on Thursday Night Football.
Hold them! Keep them out right here! Let's go, Dave!
First down and goal from the 2-yard line, and who else? Jack Boyle surges into the end zone to put this thing out of reach. Touchdown, Chaska. And that is Jack Boyle's 4th rushing touchdown on the night. And here was the big run by Jack Boyle to set up his short chip shot 2-yard run into the end zone as Chaska continues to cram it down Jefferson's throat in that potent run game. And you got to like that old school flair that they're bringing tonight, going right up the middle, in your face. And the extra point is up, and it is good. And then here is the touchdown. Jack Boyle rushing into the end zone for his 4th score of the night. As Chaska now has put up double threes on the scoreboard. That's right, 33 is Chaska's score. Jefferson is 12. And the rain's starting to come down a little bit. And the fans still staking it out here. And look at that student section for Jefferson. It's Tackle Cancer Night. All proceeds go to the Randy Shaver Cancer Foundation. Good look by our crew there against the light mast. As you can see, the rain is coming down here at Bloomington Stadium. So here is the return by Jefferson out to about the 30-yard line, and a flag is thrown immediately after the return. And it's going to be a holding call on the receiving end. That'll be against Jefferson. So now it's going to be very interesting to see what personnel Jefferson comes out with on this particular drive.
Jefferson will begin its drive at the Jaguars 17-yard line.
First down and 10 for Jefferson. As a new quarterback comes into the game, nice run around the left side, but nothing doing. New quarterback is in for Jefferson, number 7, Tyson Schultz. As Tim Carlson has elected to rest Robert Traylor, who has played well in this game, considering how tough Chaska's defense is and has been throughout this game. Quick throw is complete. Nice tackle made. Riley Reagan on the receiving end of that pass. And a really good tackle by Trevor Oder. 5 minutes remain in this Week 1 contest between the Chaska Hawks and the Jefferson Jaguars here on Thursday night. As Tyson Schultz drops back, lobs it deep, and it is incomplete. Jefferson looking for a pass interference call, but they're not going to get it. Good defensive coverage by the Chaska Hawks. Will make 4th down as the pass is incomplete. So we'll get another look here at the incomplete pass. And both guys were really battling for that ball. The pass incomplete was intended for number 82, Marcus Lamanga.
Kyle! D. Webb's hurt. Where's he at?
Jefferson looking to punt here on 4th down and 2. And this is a low punt. But it takes a favorable Jefferson bounce on the flip side, just squeaking past the midfield marker and out at the 49-yard line. So the last Jefferson offensive possession, we saw some of the backups come in. I think we might see the same thing here for the Chaska Hawk offense. Braden Sanders still the quarterback here on 1st and 10. And they're going to run it up the middle with number 15, Reese Turner, the backup running back for Chaska, number 15. As Jack Boyle taken out of this game, obviously to protect him from injury. Good run up the middle by Reese Turner, the junior backup running back for Chaska. Got 6 on the carry to the Jefferson 45-yard line. Chaska needs to get to the 41 for a 1st down. We're going to give it to Turner. We're going to turn up field, and a great tackle is made. I think the ball came out for a second, not quite sure. Big pile up on the near side. Good stop. Good stop by Manuel Ledesma, number 75 for Jefferson, one of their big men getting involved. And we have a Chaska Hawk down at about around the 45-yard line, an injured player.
If you're missing a cell phone, if you've lost your cell phone, please report to the concession stand on the Chaska side of the field, on the north side of the Chaska bleachers. Report to the concession stand if you're looking for your cell phone.
This injury right now currently only the 2nd tonight. And any injury is bad. But when you see very few injuries, considering how physical these teams can be, I think that's a really good sign. And there's the Chaska student body chilling out. There's the Jefferson student body dressed in pink tonight for the Tackle Cancer event. And Jefferson collects donations for the Randy Shaver Cancer Foundation. And Jefferson also this season will do a Wounded Warriors Project night, I believe, as they've done for the past several years. And the injured Chaska Hawk is still down at the 44-yard line. And he is now sitting up. Well, during this injury timeout, we're going to give him a little bit of privacy, and we're going to step aside for a quick break. We'll be right back here on BEC TV. You're watching Thursday Night Football at Bloomington Stadium.
Myth. I can party with people as long as they don't have symptoms. That myth is false. As we've seen, up to 40% of people who have COVID-19 are asymptomatic and can pass it on to others. So I'd recommend avoiding any social parties, especially indoor ones. If you want to try to socialize but reduce your risk, I'd recommend meeting outside in small groups, continuing to wear a mask, and socially distancing from others if you can. Then together, we can keep COVID-19 out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
Welcome back to Bloomington Stadium here on BEC TV. Chaska and Jefferson have played really hard tonight, but Chaska's run game in the second half proved to be the difference, with Jack Boyle getting into the end zone 3 times in this second half. 2 of those rushing touchdowns came in the third quarter, and then 1 more in the fourth. And Jefferson, they scored a touchdown in the third quarter to Freitag like they did down the stretch in the first half and the second quarter. But that's just about all that Jefferson has been able to do as far as putting points on the scoreboard. 33-12 is your score. And there has been no passing touchdowns in this game for Chaska. Look at the backup running back with an entourage and a sea of blue shirts carries this ball inside the 35 as Reese Turner turning it on for another Chaska first down.
Jada Gabriel on the tackle for Jefferson.
And there's Reese Turner getting a really good block from his teammate. Xavier Harvio, number 26, was right there with his running back, Reese Turner, in the hole, as those two surged ahead with the offense to the Jefferson 35 and a first down. Backup quarterback also in the game for Chaska as Turner takes this past the 30-yard line. Mason McGowan, the junior quarterback, is in for Chaska, number 16, as we get another look here on the replay. And for Chaska, you can see how deep their roster is. Even their backups are just really making life difficult. Folks, we'd like to remind you to stick around for the game. We're going to have highlights. We're going to have a brief recap. It's all coming your way on the brief, but still sweet Week 1 postgame show. How about that? Well, I got to tell you, I haven't seen a play like that in a long time. WWE style. Wow. Big man with big tackle. Jada Gabriel showing Chaska some business. Under a minute and a half left in this game. Chaska going to go to 1-0. Jefferson will fall to 0-1. And Turner takes it past the 30 and has a first down. Turner got to the 29-yard line. And a correction, that was not a first down. See the run here by Turner. Wow, another great play by number 62, Jada Gabriel for Jefferson. So it's not a first down, it is 4th down and 4. Final 30 seconds of the game. They're going to give it with Turner. He's around the right side. That's a great tackle. Out on that far side for Jefferson. A good defensive stop. But it is not enough to stop Chaska from picking up another first down on the ground. Final 10 seconds of this one. As the Chaska Hawks, with a dominant rushing performance in the second half, defeat Jefferson 33-12 as the clock hits all zeros here on Thursday Night Football. Jefferson started to come back in the second quarter and open up the third, but it was Jack Boyle turning it on to another level. That was the difference maker, and really the run game, those offensive linemen for Chaska, did Jefferson in too good, and they pick up the 33-12 win. I'm going to step aside for a short bit along with our crew. We'll be back for the postgame in just a short bit. Stick around with us. You're watching BEC TV's Football Night in Bloomington.
Why should young people care about the spread of coronavirus? Well, we know that people with underlying medical conditions over the age of 60 are at highest risk, but they've got to get it from somebody.
So we're asking everyone to be selfless for others so that we can protect those who are most susceptible.
Not going to bars, not going to restaurants. It all just means physical separation so that you have a space between you and others.
For more information on how you can social distance, please go to coronavirus.gov.
Welcome atop the press box here at Bloomington Stadium. I'm Alex Redding alongside of our crew, welcoming you to the post-game show here. It's going to be very brief, but it's been filled with all kinds of highlights, this game, hasn't it? Chaska got the 33-12 win tonight against Jefferson. And well, if you're Chaska, you really have to like the way you've been running the football, especially with senior running back Jack Boyle, number 11 in the backfield. You also have to give credit to your quarterback, too, number 2 for Chaska, Braden Sanders, in his senior season, looking pretty good, making plays with his feet. But if you're Jefferson, you also have to feel really good about where you've stood in this position offensively, really in the passing game by number 11, Robert Traylor. Had a couple of touchdown passes in this game to Daniel Freitag. Going to be a really big name to keep an eye on in the coming weeks for Jefferson, number 19 on the offense. And we have some second half highlights to get to right here on BEC TV. We're going to start off with the third quarter as Chaska drove it down the field, and well, who else? It's Jack Boyle into the end zone. But then Jefferson would respond with a drive of their own, a great passing drive for Jefferson. They would go down and they'd score with Freitag, but then Jack Boyle ripping off yet another touchdown to respond. And then in the fourth quarter, Chaska would seal the deal again with Boyle just tearing up this Jefferson secondary. That run down to the 2, and then Jack Boyle would finish the job with his big men up front, and Jack Boyle 4 rushing touchdowns in this game. But how about that tackle by Jada Gabriel for the Jefferson Jaguars on defense to kind of close out the game? Well, it's not the result that Jefferson wanted, but they have shown signs of improvement, especially for how long they hung with Chaska throughout the game. Now remember, it was only 13-6 heading into the first half. So if you're Jefferson, you have a lot to improve on, but you also have a lot to look forward to as the season moves along. Well, that'll just about do it for us here on the postgame show. Alex Redding alongside our crew signing off from Bloomington Stadium as the Chaska Hawks get the win over Jefferson. Have a good night, everybody.